Raw Story is reporting on a fascinating story coming out of Southern California on the issue of the border crisis. There's a guy named Mark Lane who's a business owner in Murrieta, and his 5-year-old son noticed on TV that there were protesters blocking buses of immigrants. So this little kid who doesn't know anything was just curious and said, "Dad, what's going on here? Like, why are they blocking the bus?" It didn't really click with him. He didn't understand it. So Mark said the following, quote, "It's 2014. Why do I have to explain to my 5-year-old why people are mad at the buses when really they're mad at the people inside of the buses because they're brown?" Totally true. I cannot agree with that more. So what did this great guy decide to do? Well, he went through a company called Border Angels, and they essentially opened up their home to a refugee family. They were tired of looking on TV and seeing people, these poor people who just got out of a fucking area ripped to shreds from a drug war and high crime and violence. And so what are they doing? They say, okay, well, that's fucked up. Why are you protesting them? Here, come to our house and we'll take care of you. Quote, Lane found a mother, teenage sons, and a 23-year-old daughter who fled violence in Guatemala when gangs threatened to kill one of the sons for not joining. During the long journey through Mexico, riding on top of trains, the daughter was raped multiple times and everything the family owned was stolen. When they came to our house, they were scared. We had 2 extra rooms, but they didn't want to be separated, so they all piled into one room. The response to what this great family did was incredible. Quote, after the word got out that he was hosting the family, someone created a Facebook page to organize a boycott of his business, Papa's Fresh Fish Company in Logan Heights. So here's just one of the comments against this family and this guy. Quote, Mark Lane needs a serious beating in front of his customers, but then he serves crap food. His establishment is rat-infested and smells like raw sewage. So just the floodgates were opened on the hatred that this guy received because he actually decided to act like a good person and treat a refugee family in a respectable way. So Lane says, quote, now we're getting death threats. They're going to kill me. They're going to kill my family. They put my kids and my wife's picture on their hate sites. Not even the mafia does that. I'm not going to stop helping families. When this family leaves, the next family that comes through immigration, our house is open. I think this guy should get the fucking Congressional Medal of Honor. Okay? We live in a country, 76% Christian? We're certainly secular according to our laws. There's no doubt about that. That's what the Constitution says. The First Amendment is clear. But we live in a country that's 76% Christian, or so-called Christian. And here we have the party and the people that claim to be most Christian, most Christ-like, most in favor of God and Jesus and the Bible. These are the same people that scream and bitch and moan and yelp and cry when somebody actually decides to act like Jesus and say, you know what, I'm going to open my door and let this poor refugee family in and give them a place to lay their head at night. Give them something to drink and something to eat real quick. Isn't it amazing, man? There's nothing that gets under my skin more than hypocrisy. And this is the worst kind of hypocrisy. Because like we've discussed many times before, on the issue of immigration, it's certainly true that there are many different topics where you can cherry pick from the Bible and you can support any position. On the issue of immigration, it's one of the few areas where it's not open to debate. It's not open to interpretation. I've come out on this show before and given you about a dozen quotes from the Bible, Old Testament and New Testament, that say, yeah, no, in all cases, you need to treat the immigrants nicely. Treat them like your own. Treat the sojourner, as they call them, like they're your own. Give them a place to eat, open up a room for them, etc., etc. But these so-called Christians are threatening to kill the family of somebody who's actually acting Christ-like. It's amazing, man. And it proves, it goes right back to something we talk about all the time. Oftentimes, people use religion as a crutch. They use it as a veil of respectability. They say, no, it's okay. I get to act like an asshole, and I get to act in an immoral and unethical way because I've already given myself the label of being right by definition. So I call myself a Christian. I'm part of the group that are good people, period. So that gives me free reign to act however I want and to still say I'm a good person. Well, no. One of the benefits of being secular is that you're rational. So I can look at your actions and say, no, it doesn't matter what you fucking label yourself. You're a douche. You're a douche weasel. I'm looking at what you're doing. You're protesting fucking refugee families. We've talked about this before, but did you know the violence in Central America is actually worse than Iraq at the height of the Iraq War? Because of the drug war. Because there are broken governments and corruption all over the place and wanton violence. And these same people that call themselves Christians want to shut the door in the face of all the refugees who are just looking to make a better life for their kids. It's gross, it's terrible, it's fucked up, and a guy like Mark Lane is an American hero.